Hi everyone, welcome back to BZmiatas. If you're still here after the speech at the end of the last video, I appreciate it. And I don't know what the poll says yet because I'm recording this 10 minutes after I just recorded the ending. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna feel after I see the poll results and what I wanna do. But what I can get started on is tearing down more stuff. There's the skid plate underneath I can remove. That could give us a pretty good look at everything. And there's still the fuse box that can be fully pulled off. That'll take some work from the interior, which I'm not too excited about, but we'll do it anyway. I'll probably cut off the front part extensions of the subframe that are really broken and bent. They're not really doing anything structurally anymore. I don't think they need to be there, even if I do end up getting the frame pulled, because that'll be pulled from the frame rails and from the cut parts of the curtain. Probably just saw through those. So thanks for sticking around, and let's get to work. Okay, since I recorded that intro, it's been a few days. I've been editing. I gave the car a wash as safely as I could, not to damage the paint inside. There's still tape residue on the car itself, but the top, I managed to clean it all off. Really don't care about the tape residue on this door or the back panel because it's likely not gonna be my problem. I think I'm gonna now take off the sway bar. It's pretty messed up in there, or at least one of the mounting points is under this frame rail, but it'll allow me to access another bolt. I'm gonna pop that side off and hopefully not hurt myself. Other end link. Success. This end of the hose came right off the thermostat, it looks like, because there's a thermostat housing against the water pump on the back there. I think that's just a filler neck, so it's the high point of the system and it'll bleed easy. So right here is where we pulled off our hose, and that's thermostat housing, I believe. Learning this car as I go. All right, got quite a few pieces off today, and that whole front section of the frame rail now has nothing on it. It's all metal, same with the subframe right there. So, I might cut that soon. When I get a chance to work on this tomorrow, I'll be working more on this side. So I just pulled off this piece of subframe. Once I had undone the two bolts that went into the frame itself, I felt that it was pretty loose as the welds had already broken away from the subframe, and I just had to wiggle a bit to get that end off, and the whole thing came free. So I've got a lower radiator support that I think is not that bad. So be taking those bolts off and holding on to that for the time being. I should be able to get the mount for this side of the sway bar off now. got the hard lines for the transcooler, which led back to soft lines before returning to hard lines again down there. We got the remainder of our AC lines out, so that freed up this area a bit. Okay, I had to cut off here because that's the only place I could reach. There's a hard bend right there where part of it's actually broken, but it's not broken all the way at the subframe where the other one was. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the belts because this one has gouges in it. See the damage on our water pump pulley? Better at this angle. Definitely needs to be replaced. We have oil in our engine, and I haven't seen any leaks anywhere. The pan or tray covering it underneath is dry. So we're gonna spin our crank around because we want to get this damage on the pulley to the top side to get a good view of it. Crank bolt's 21 millimeter. Top here, you can see the actual damage to the pulley. All right, this whole harness is just gonna be useless, so I'm gonna do something I should have done a while ago. One more thing to do outside before I move into interior, and that's going to be the under tray or skid plate. I can see that it's bent. I want to know if our oil pan was touched in any way. It's holding oil, but it could, be banged up against the pickup tube or something like that that possibly caused problems or just devalue our engine a lot. Okay, we've got our tray off. Used pretty big bolts. You have to take that off to access the oil filter to do an oil change. And I couldn't get it with my rigid 18 volt. I had to use a breaker bar first, which just tells me that the dealership used too many ooga-doogas to put it on last time. The whole thing was bent over on that side. So you can see difference between this mount where that was one bolt hole and then there's the other, and that's just a flat piece. This one, those bolts are basically sideways. So that mount for it's bent up, which connects the subframe to the body, give it a little extra support. Our oil pan looks great. That's just extra shiny. Those aren't scratches or anything. Let's see if I can block light. This is all good. Everything else looks good back there too. You can see further down where I mentioned in video 1 that there's a little X-brace back there, and I think the tow driver and myself messed that up as we were taking the car off, but it's all been kind of worth it to just get in the garage. That's just a small aluminum strengthening piece, and so I don't expect I would be able to even sell it or sell it for much, and everything else that's more valuable, like power plant frame, drive shaft, is all protected. You can see our lines that are for the transcooler, so I was right about that. This being an automatic transmission, I figured it might have one, which I think is what makes the manual cars have a different radiator. Okay, I think that's gonna be just about everything for the outside. On the inside, one thing I did notice is I have the Bose package on this car. It's pretty nice. Since I decided to cut the harness, I don't think I'm gonna even bother pulling it out right there. I think I'll work on seeing if I can get this airbag out. I think with this punch, I should be able to get the airbag off. These are kind of difficult, but you're pushing on these and they're spring loaded. That's what makes it come free. Got my little Mazda logo from the airbag. Keep a little souvenir. Back there's a little mechanism under that panel, and I was able to open the trunk with it. It's the only way to do it when your battery's dead. All you need is things to pop off, the flat clips, and then a stubby Phillips head. All right, I think that's gonna be all for this video. I've kind of run out of stuff to do. I don't have an engine hoist or an engine stand, so I'm not gonna pull the engine out yet. I'll pull it out when somebody decides they want it. Then I can spend the money on those tools. I'll just take things off as people come for them and be recording each piece that I can. Next video I'll be doing, we'll upload again on Monday. It'll be on my 96 Miata. I need to get that car running, done with emissions and registered again because it's expiring in a few days here. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you're so inclined. Give the video a like if you did like it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Well, that's disappointing.